Okay, here's something my fantasy boyfriend told me about. The orgasm gap, which refers to the gap between the number of orgasms men and women have in a heterosexual relationship during sex. The report goes on to say that women are getting the shorter end of the stick. It was found that over 80 to 90% of men and only 40 to 50% of women consistently experienced orgasms during sexual activity. Okay, that's interesting because in my relationship with my fantasy boyfriend, here are the numbers. I usually have between 5 to 10 orgasms for every single time my man wants to come. What's that put me at? Like 70 to 80%, and he's at like 20 to 30% coming orgasms? It was said the researchers in those studies didn't know exactly why women were getting the shorter end of the stick. These researchers argued that it might be biological, while others blamed cultural or societal perspectives or lack of knowledge when it comes to sexually pleasing a woman. What fools. Well, having been with my fantasy boyfriend, going on a tiny 3 months now, I can easily say it's a lack of, number one, sexual knowledge, and number two, making her pleasure a priority, number one, in the bedroom before he gets his. Period. Done. Simple. I feel for every woman on earth who is not getting 5 to 10 orgasms for every one time a man gets to fire off his rocket fuel in, on, or around her when it's his time to come. Those men need to model how my fantasy boyfriend treats me. Those women are losing out big time if they don't tell their man to prioritize their pleasure before his. Here's something else. I never knew I'd like dating an older man. Yes, my fantasy boyfriend is older than me. Well, let's get started. The sex is so much better. Can't you tell? No man my age could ever do what my fantasy boyfriend has been doing to me, and in such a short period of time. Sex is like making love each and every time. Sex is intimate. He looks me in the eye and holds my hand when we make love. We haven't even really had real sex yet. He's only pleasured me with his hand and his tongue. OMG. I can only imagine what it will be like when we are ready to do the real deed, and he gives me the full sausage on up, down, up, and through there. I can't wait. Then there's all his wisdom and experience to learn from. He's always calm. I see my girlfriends with men around their age, and they're sometimes stressed out or fighting with their men. Is it because their men are young and immature or uptight? Not calm, not together? Can they not cool the situation down like my guy can? His life is stable. He's got his act together. I'm not wasting my time while he, the man, still discovers himself. No. My fantasy boyfriend is already grounded, established, and stable. Being that I'm emotionally and financially stable too, I like that he has his own income. My fantasy boyfriend knows what he wants and goes after it. Or he already has gone after it and acquired it. He doesn't play games. He knows what he wants in a relationship. He's ready to get married when the right gal walks into his life in quick time. I hope that might be me. Oh, he doesn't have roommates. I can scream out loud all I want and no one will ever hear me. Well, you know, the good kind of orgasm screams, of course. He has so much life experience that I grow mentally, emotionally, intellectually at the same time, and quickly. He's a lover and a mentor, a teacher, trainer, all in one. And I pay him with smooches, licks, and orgasms. He knows a woman's body just as much, if not more, than I do. How is that possible? Doesn't matter. I love that he knows my body so well. He knows how to take me out on a real date and wants to do things with me, not just to get into my pants. Oh, I don't wear clothes at his house, so maybe that point is moot. My fantasy boyfriend can hold a conversation and really talk to me, engage with me, pass along ideas, and stimulate my curiosity about life and love. He has no emotional baggage. Even men my age have emotional or mental or financial baggage issues. He's clean as a whistle and rocks louder than anyone I've ever met when he wants to. He doesn't have health issues and is extremely physically fit. Even some men my age are gaining weight. They can't get it up. Maybe it's all that porn they watch. They're losing their hair and just not taking good care of themselves. They're looking 10 to 15 years older when my fantasy boyfriend looks 10 to 15 years younger. Did I say that he has no wrinkles on his face? He has better facial skin than I do. How is that possible? I love looking at him when we're in bed. He's just so handsome. Oh, and I love running my fingers through his hair. He has such a cute hairdo. As I said to myself earlier, he's more accepting of my imperfections. I love that about him. He respects my friends and family and talks nicely about them. By the way, all my friends are jealous and want their own fantasy boyfriend now. He's not scared of showing off his emotions. He's not likely to give up and run when things get difficult. He listens. He wants to hear about my life, my family, my ideas, and more. If I'm indecisive, he'll choose, and I love that. He's not afraid to discuss the future. He's got great insight about what concerns me, my fears, what I'm looking for in life, and he can and wants to help me get there, whether we stay together or not. My fantasy boyfriend is willing to work out issues we might have, talk things through, and resolve any disagreements before they ever blow up. Because he doesn't have a ton of friends calling him or hanging out with him all the time, he has more time for me. I think what surprises me most about dating my fantasy boyfriend is that at the end of the day, we're really just two individuals looking for deep, unconditional love, attention, and a real connection. Age, in our case, is just a number. And frankly, I like that he's older. I found someone who has so many qualities that I look for in a man, and since he looks 10 to 15 years younger than he really is, that puts us closer in an acceptable age range anyway. What I'm going to keep in mind is how I feel when I'm with him. I'm going to remember the things I love about him as an individual. As long as I'm attracted to him, age means nothing except the benefits we both get in return. What's also important to keep in mind are all these benefits and not to let outside stigmas or judgments dissuade my falling in love with someone who loves me just as much, if not more. It's funny that most women my age would be afraid of the backlash from society about our age gap. What my fantasy boyfriend has taught me was that unless they're paying my bills, they own me, or they're my master, they ain't got one red cent say in my life. Well, he told me some other things to tell them, but I'll be a lady and not share them here. I know what they were, and they do have more impact on telling the world where to go. Let's see. We love each other so much that we spend every second together and can't wait to get back together when we spend time apart. I'm not like most women my age. I don't like to party, and maybe I'm more old-fashioned. We are a perfect match, and we don't care what others think. The more I'm with him, the more I don't care what others think as well. He's teaching me to have more of a backbone every day. and stick to my guns, likes and desires, and not care what the world thinks. Since neither of us have ever been married or have children, it's just us right now, and I like that so far. Maybe we just want to be selfish and be with each other for a while. That's fine by us too. Maybe we'll co-parent a puppy one day. If we do want to pop out some kids, that's fine too. Who knows? I'm growing more and more less concerned about what society thinks and how my heart feels. What's best for me? The world knows nothing about that and could care less about me. So I've decided to care less about what the world thinks and their opinions likewise. He encourages me all the time. Again, while the sex is great, he's not after my body. He's after my mind and my heart. To him, that's the sexiest part about me to him, and I think that is sexy. My fantasy boyfriend makes me feel like a raging tiger sometimes. I just want to jump all over him. I think it's because he's not all over me, which would push most women away. Instead, he waits for me to get horny so that I have to come to him for what I need personally, sexually. That's totally sexy. Most men I've dated, when I did date, couldn't keep their hands off me and wanted it all the time. One boyfriend even dumped me because I wouldn't give him a BJ every day. That's not my fantasy boyfriend. He waits for me to get horny and then makes me jump him first. That's sexy. He's patient, gentle, and never thirsty. He's in control of himself at all times. This makes me want him because he's right there for my taking when I want it. He also makes me feel so sexy and desired. I like it when he takes my panties off. I like it when he helps unbutton my bra. I like when he takes my clothes off. He does it in such a way that makes me feel good about myself. Every time he does it, I wouldn't mind if he undressed me every day for the rest of my life. Just thinking about that makes me wet right now.